Hey G Squad, welcome back to an episode of Is It Worth It? So for today's episode, we got this cool, amazing product right here in my hand. If you can see it, by the brand called COWIN. This is their brand new SE7 with Alexa built in. And they also have a few new things that's included in the product itself, which I'll show you guys in a second. But I want to show you guys a side-by-side comparison between their old one versus the new one right here. So this is a new one that they have right here, which is a smaller box, whereas the old one is a bigger box. So let me actually open the new one first and also show you guys the old one as well, and show you guys a side-by-side comparison of what's the difference of each one and whether or not it's actually worth it to get the upgraded version and whatnot. So when we first open the package itself, you guys can see there's a bunch of like instruction guide and a warranty card right here. And if you guys take a look right here, it's the COWIN SE7 ANC, which has a built-in Alexa option on here, which is pretty awesome. So if you guys take a look right here, this is a brand new case that is included with the SE7 with the built-in Alexa option. They're basically using the same kind of case as the E9 ones, if you guys remember. But let's take it out and show you guys what it looks like. So when we open up the actual case itself, this is basically what it looks like. They basically have all the same accessories that they provide usually, so like all these adapters, the cable to charge it, the aux cord and whatnot is all in here. And it pretty much looks the same as the old SE7, but there are some difference. Let me actually open up the old one and show you guys the side-by-side comparison and what's the difference. So this is the SE7 case that they used to have with a little handle right here, which is different. So when you guys open up the product, this is basically what it looks like. So for accessories, they're probably the same stuff, so the charging cable, the aux cable and whatnot, so they're all the same. So let me show you guys the old one first. So the old one, you guys can see that there's a button to push up and down the noise cancellation right here to activate it and turn it off or on. Buttons here are still the same, so like the volume up, volume down, play and pause button, the forward button and the reverse button to skip the song and go back to the previous song. The same button right here to answer and reject the calls right here. They have a little aux output right here that you can plug in your aux cord and whatnot to listen on your computer or whatever. And right here is a charging output, which is the micro USB to plug it in. They have the built-in mic and indicator light right here, so you guys can actually make calls and see when the product is on and off. And in terms of the earpiece itself, you guys can see it's very, very soft. Like how I mentioned in all my videos, I think out of all the headphones that's by COWIN, the SE7 is definitely one of the most comfortablest headphones that they have, because of the part they make here, but mainly right here is the most comfortable part. It's kind of like the Bose headphone kind of feeling, where it's like really, really comfortable. You guys can wear it for a really long time. And I love the option how you guys can fold up like this, which is the same as their brand new one as well. But that's basically everything that's on the old one. Now let me show you the new one and what's the difference. So on the new one, it's also the same size, and you see how it's foldable like this. Same kind of cushioning on the top part. The earpiece is a little bit different if you guys feel it. It's still comfortable, but I feel like it's not as comfortable as like the old one that they have. So if you guys look at the earpiece like right here and right here, so when I squeeze it, you can see that it's not the same as right here versus the one right here. This one feels like it's much more mushy and like just goes on your ear really nicely. This one I feel like they're still using like the new one from the S9. I'm not saying that's not comfortable, but I feel like it's not as comfortable as the old SE7 right here. As you can see how comfortable it is. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but I'm doing it longer so you can see it better. So for this one, you guys can see there's no button to push up and down to activate the ANC option on here like the old one. The way how you guys activate ANC on here is by pressing it down for 1 second to activate it. And what's really cool about the new one is the fact that you guys actually turn up the ANC to be high, low, or off. So every time you guys press it for 1 second, it'll actually tell you guys high, low, off. And that's how you guys know when ANC is high, low, or off. And then once you guys pair the device correctly onto your device and whatnot, onto your Alexa device as well, all you guys have to do is press the button right here to activate Alexa to use it. So if you guys don't have Alexa, then you guys probably can't use this option. But definitely awesome how you guys have the option to use Alexa if you guys want to. But the main winner about the new one versus the old one is the fact that you guys can change the ANC option to be high or low. So if you guys don't want to use the ANC or the high option, you guys have the option to use on the low option. But in terms of the buttons, they're still the same. So the volume up, volume down, play and pause button is still the same as well. The forward button and reverse button is still the same to go to the next song, go back to the previous song. The aux output option is still here. The micro USB option to charge the product is still here. The built-in mic is still here. The indicator light is still here. So for those of you guys who are wondering how do you guys pair the device onto Alexa app and whatnot, very simple and very easy. All you guys have to do is go in the app itself, click on add device. So you guys can see right here, add device. You guys want to click add device right here. And you guys want to scroll down until you guys see headphone. And then once you guys see this page right here, then you guys should be able to see the SE7. And the reason why you guys don't see it here is because I already paired it on to my device, so I don't need to do that anymore. So once it's finished setting up, you guys just press this button right here to activate Alexa. You guys tell it to do whatever you guys want to. So you guys can say, hey, good morning. And you guys don't need to say Alexa anymore. Just press the button and just speak. So like for example, if I press this down one time like this, just press it and then be like, play me some music on Spotify. Then it'll play the music. If I press it again, I just press it and be like, good morning, and it'll say good morning or something. So basically it's the same kind of concept as using the actual device to activate Alexa, but without saying Alexa every single time. You just have to press the button and just say whatever you guys need to get a response for. So far from everything that we tested so far and shown you guys, the main difference is the ANC option to turn high and low if you guys want to. It has the built-in Alexa option. The earpiece is a little bit different. It's not as comfortable as the old SE7 one that they have. And then also the case itself is different. But let's test out the audio and see how it compares from one versus the other one. Alright, so it's connected. Let me turn on the ANC so you can see what I'm talking about. So right here, just press it down for the 1 second. And it turns on and it says hi. So let's give it a try and see how it performs. So as you can see, I'm controlling the volume. So if I press the up button, it'll go up. Down button will go down. The play and pause button, I just press the play and pause one time. And then plays and pause the music. If I want to go to the next song, I want to press the button down for like a second or so, and it goes to the next song just like this. And I want to go back to the previous song, I just go like this. So really easy to control and everything you guys can see. In terms of like using the microphone to do calls and stuff, I gave it a try earlier. The audio sounds really clear. You guys can hear the other person, they can hear you. If you guys really want me to do like a test of the microphone, then let me know in the comment section down below. But I'm going to do a quick audio test right now to see how was the difference between the new one versus the old one, if there's any difference, and then let you guys know. So let me do that first. So not bad for the new one, but let me try out the old one and see if there's like a difference. Okay, so basically after testing both of them out, here's my conclusion. The new one has a better ANC option where you can do the high and the low, and the ANC is actually better on the new one versus the old one. But when it comes to like the audio wise, I think the new one is a little bit better than the old one. But the main thing that is a downer for me is the fact that the new one's bass is not as strong as the old one. I feel like the bass for the old one is definitely much more stronger than this one, which is a little downer for me if you guys love bass like me. But if you guys want more audio, then the new one is definitely better in terms of the audio resolution and whatnot. So now that we did the test of both product itself, now to answer the question of which one is more worth it. So in terms of the comfort, I still have to go with the old one. The old one is much more comfortable in terms of like the feel of the product itself. Like when I had this one on, it was so much more comfortable than having one of these on. Like when I put this one on, it feels like I have the E9 on instead of like an SE7. It doesn't feel like the SE7 anymore. But when we talk about ANC option, I definitely have to give it to the new one for the better ANC option because you guys can turn it to the high, low, off. Also because of the fact that the ANC is actually a little bit better on the new one versus the old one. In terms of audio wise, the new one is definitely a little bit better in terms of the audio. And the last comparison that I want to talk about is the bass. Which one has the better bass? I definitely have to give it to the older one that has a little bit better bass than the new one. I feel like the new one's not as strong for the bass. So if you guys care more about the audio wise, then this one is definitely better. But if you guys want more of the bass, then this one is definitely better for the older one. But when it comes to the overall question of which one's more worth it and whether or not it's actually worth it to upgrade, for me honestly, I think I prefer sticking to the old one because of the comfort and also like the bass. Because I rely a lot more on comfort and the bass, like how I mentioned in all my videos for any kind of products. But if you guys want that Alexa option, you guys want the option to actually control like the ANC option to high, low, or off or whatever, and you guys want that better audio, then definitely the new one is actually better in terms of all those stuff that I mentioned comparing to the old one. But in terms of like the charging time and all that stuff, the battery life, they're basically all the same thing. There's no upgrade or changes for those. It's just a few upgrades in terms of like the buttons, the cases, what it can do in terms of audio versus bass, ANC option and whatnot. So pretty much long story short, yes, this is worth it if you guys want to upgrade for those changes I mentioned. But if you guys care a lot more about like the bass and the comfort of the product, then the older one is definitely better. So at the end of the day, it really depends on you guys of which one you guys like more and what you guys prefer more of. But both of them are pretty much worth it, just depends on you guys at the end of the day. But definitely one thing that I wish that they changed or modify is actually earpiece itself. So hopefully they're watching this video so that they can actually hear this little feedback, because I definitely love the SE7 earpiece a lot more than their new one right here that they're using right here. This one just feels like the A9 one that's not as comfortable as the SE7 earpiece. So that's pretty much it for this little unboxing and testing of the product itself, to give you guys a comparison of the new one versus the old one, and talking about whether or not it's actually worth it to upgrade and whatnot. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, then make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And if you guys like this video and you guys want to see more, then make sure to click on that bell notification in the bottom to be notified of new videos that will be coming up in the future. But as always, make sure to stay positive, be you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Is It Worth It? Peace. And then for today's G Squad fan shout out day we have